Hi, hello. So, yeah, I know I haven't been on here in forever. I've been taking breaks, working, just figuring out what I'm doing with my life basically. But, yeah, I've been wanting to jump on here for a while. I've been wanting to do a video on this for a while. I just haven't really gotten around to it. But yeah, I've been wanting to talk about, just men's spaces. I've been looking at men's spaces here and there for, some time now. So I just kind of want to go over what I saw, what I think, that sort of thing. These kind of movements like red pill, MGTOW, manosphere, that sort of thing that's been around. And I've talked about this before, but I just wanted to make a video on just like an overview on that. So I haven't really been on the internet like that in a year, so I don't know if this is still a thing. The world has changed a bit since the time of past, but yeah, I was, I'm talking about like with men's spaces, like the more extreme side of things, pick me sort of stuff, that sort of thing. Um, you know, uh, Women acting dumber and dumber because they think men like it. It must be sort of survival gene or something. Like just pearly things, Andrew Tate. So yeah, I really don't know if they're still really popular, but they were, pretty popular a year or so ago. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk a bit about that sort of thing. With the manosphere spaces, with some of the manosphere spaces, like I feel like some of the spaces are legit. Like I don't really have a problem with uh, the content really, but yeah, sometimes it just in some of those spaces it feels like a bit predatory, like manipulative. I want to say. So yeah, they talk about like nature, what is natural versus indoctrination, the whole, like evolution, psych stuff, women being brainwashed, men being brainwashed. In my opinion, they go off the rails on a lot of things. Like they get a lot of things wrong, in my opinion. I think it's a lot of like trolling and grifting, some of that stuff. They'll try to spend like science and things like that and make like sweeping claims. Like, for example, the claim that females mature faster. And that's just the end of it. So, with these sorts of things, to me, sometimes there's different ways to look at, claims like these. Like for example, girls, especially in the past, were expected to master different challenges than boys due to social pressures and to meet, different expectations at a young age related to caring and tending for others, where, boys tended to have more time to mature and they experience more of like, I don't know if like empowerment is the right word, but while girls experience more of like restriction. Yeah, some science out there today seems to me it's more about an ideology rather than, finding the actual truth. And to me, you can see this. You can kind of see this with evolutionary psychology, I don't write that off entirely, but yeah, to me, some of that kind of thing, it just doesn't seem all that credible to me, I guess you could say. Sometimes it seems like some of these, like some of this science was done by people that don't have a basic understanding of logic and reason, which is why I think some of it is some sort of grift, or it's politicized, or something like that. And I mean, you can see that in different ways as well. Like there'll be studies about the benefits of such and such product sponsored by an entity that is selling it. Not to say that these studies aren't, you know, legit, but I would take them with a grain of salt. So, yeah, I will say that you can see this with some evolutionary psychology. Like, some of these studies make, like, sweeping claims that seem irrelevant, in my opinion. Studies have methodological limitations that, some of these researchers don't seem to note or address. So, yeah, in these spaces, I see, citing of, such studies like men prefer younger women, youth, beauty. Okay, so based on what metric? So, what sort of, impression is this supposed to leave on someone that, men will just go to younger women, but, anyone who doesn't live under a rock know that's not how the real world works. So, or there'll be things like women prefer such and such in a man, or man to look this or that way. And, most of the time when I read these, kinds of claims, I'm like, well, that's not me, or, even the opposite, or, that's not that important to me. So, yeah, I was, hearing about, some study about the differences between men and women, and they were talking about, the difference between men and women's sexuality. So they're saying they were making claims like men want a lot of sex partners, women don't want a lot of sex partners. When we ask them, this is what they say. Okay, but there's other factors that you're not considering. It could be that the man is thinking about more of like a fantasy. Could be thinking that the woman is thinking more about like reality and what's actually practical. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'm just going to give a personal account right now. It's going to be TMI, too much information. But, yeah, I want to make a point here. So, yeah, you can skip over this if you want to. But, yeah, I was listening, hearing about this study that men want this, that, this, that. They want, a lot of sex with hundreds of women, thousands of women. Okay. So when I'm by myself and, I'm feeling horny, okay, I'm feeling aroused, and maybe, I don't like to look at porn, but maybe I just, pull up a little bit of porn to help get off a little bit. What's in my mind is, I'm thinking about size. I'm thinking about the sizes. I am thinking about, I would like to have, a lot of different, partners, So, promiscuity. But in real life, do I go out and do that? No. Because first of all, you're restrained by reality. Would it be nice to go out and do that? Maybe, yeah. But I mean, again, you have to worry about, like STDs, the risks involved. And then in reality, you know, sex is just not all that great all the time. Uh, there's different things involved, you know, rather than just going out and enjoying it. It's just not like that for me, anyways. You may think that you want it big, but in reality, it may be better if it's just average size or whatever, but you're with someone that you care about, you have an emotional connection. To me, that's more of what I'm thinking of in reality, so yeah, that's just my thought on that. I think it's probably the same sort of thing for men if you actually look at reality instead of kind of like fantasizing, because when you're talking about biology, the individuals that passed on more of their genes, they ended up more in the gene pool. That's just how it works. So, yeah, things can get a bit extreme when in your being in your mind for that reason, because it's just trying to get you to go out and, you know, do it, even though in reality it's not going to end up as what may have been in your mind, So, what was in your mind when you were desperate and alone and, aroused up, and so yeah, that's just what I wanted to say about that. That was just, one of the main things that I thought of when I hear sorts of claims and, these sorts of, studies. So yeah, I think I would prefer, intimacy, emotional connection, over what may have been in your mind at that point, which in reality may not be that great. It may be lacking then, rather than if, within like a committed and caring relationship, is what I'm trying to say. So, and yeah, there's also this thing about the wall, which is a term they use to refer to older women or to shame older women. It's meant to refer to like a hypothetical woman that she's attractive when she's younger, and then she loses her attractiveness when she gets older. So, that's neither here or there. I think we know that some people who were attractive when they were younger are attractive when they are older. There's some people who are attractive when they are younger get less attractive when they're older. Some people get more attractive, and I'm just like, if she's at the wall, just leave her alone and let her be happy. To me, it sounds better, because when you're younger and you're the things that are, preferred by the prime men, supposedly, you get judged a lot, because if you with someone, they're like, well, this is too good to be true. You should be with this or that person or whatever. Or it's like people assume what you want. Like, oh, well, you must want a powerful man. He's, established in his financial prime, and that sort of thing. And to me, I'm like, well, a man is already physically more powerful than me. Why would I want him to have even more power over me? You're talking about mentally more powerful, financially more powerful. And yeah, we all know that relationships can end badly. To me, it's like, why would I want someone to have so much power over me? You know? Like, I don't want someone that's, on a lower level than me either. Like, he's making way less money than me, or maybe he's, on drugs, or, going to jail or something like that. I don't want that either. Like, what I look at is more of someone that's more on my level, someone in the same boat as me, no kids, makes a good living, that sort of thing. Someone that's compatible, that's more of what I look at. Not, oh, I'm in my prime, I want the most powerful man, the highest bidder. To me, that's just not how it works. So, yeah, maybe it's better to be at the wall and people think you're settling. Then I don't have to be looking into things that I'm not interested in, Yeah, I think this sort of stuff is to target younger women and scare them and make them desperate. So to try to make them care about males while they're victimizing them, so they're just confused. So, yeah, I think the thing is with this sort of thing on the internet is they want to make you value males who do not value you, so it's a coercion attempt. It benefits them for you to be desperate so they can use you for what they want to use you for, and to make you think and act like that. So what are the ramifications to this? It's nonsense that is completely dysfunctional. So everyone listening to this sort of thing is at risk of reality slapping them around real hard. So I think the goal is regarding women. I think what the thing is they're trying to do is to like scare you into submission. I guess you could say that's how they look at women. The goal is to scare you using fear tactics. It's like mental programming where they do things in a subliminal way for you to respond in a way that they want you to respond, internalizing it. So I think I'm going to say it's kind of like mental programming for the weak. It's like for women who are already scared in their little bubble, young, vulnerable, easily brainwashed. They feel they have to scare women to talk to them. That's her tactic. Like this stuff like, oh, you're not feminine enough. Like, oh, you're not soft and dainty enough. You need to be more feminine so I can use you for whatever I want to use you for, like a doormat. They're just telling you what they like and prefer to get you to do what they want. I think so. It's like grooming that I don't think anyone needs to be worried about. It's designed to keep you like a slave, I guess you could say, to like some sort of patriarchal type of thing, like system, telling you to do things that are just dysfunctional as hell. So they just go to age and appearance, because what else are they going to attack you on? They aren't going to attack your ability in education or anything important. So they're just going to go to, oh, you're not attractive like they are to you or something. So yeah, obviously younger women are more attractive to predatory males. Like they would go to high school students you know, to me, it's like, why are you worried about other people when you really need to be worried about yourself? Like, I don't understand that. Like, you don't have a life besides stalking women over the internet? You don't have anything better to do? I mean, that's how you spend your time? So, yeah, to me, it's like they make up lies in their head that is irrelevant in real life, trying to change the concept of reality to go in their favor just to create a narrative and a lie to brainwash and manipulate people, basically. That's how important it is to these people to try and control women. They'll just make up flat out crap trying to assert some type of power. So, yeah, this isn't about like freedom of speech. To me, it's about males that are manipulative and vindictive. Basically, like they're trying to like dominate women over the internet and show authority over the internet, trying to live vicariously through the internet. So, yeah, what they are doing is like harassment, in my opinion. Like, it seems like they thrive off of lies and being manipulative and vindictive. If the truth were to be told, they wouldn't be able to like control women the way they want. So it's a manipulative, vindictive tactic, in my opinion, trying to control people around them. So if they're doing this online, they'll probably do this sort of thing in real life. They'll probably harass a woman in real life who doesn't want to give them any attention. If you have a mentality of doing this sort of thing, that's what you're going to do, whichever way you can create a power dynamic where there shouldn't be any. What would stop you from thinking that way if you think that way about the internet? The goal is to make you care about them because they keep trying to, like, get in your space when we're not thinking about them. So that's why I agree with MGTOW and Red Pill and things like that, because to me it's like, if you can't find a functional relationship in real life, and to me it's like, well, then especially go single. If you can't find a functional relationship and you can't find anyone who you genuinely love, if you feel the top hypergamous women don't love you and you don't have eyes for any other woman, basically, except those you feel reject you, you're going to end up in a situation where you're best off single because you're not happy in any of those relationships. And these males, specifically, they constantly talk about, the women who are gold digging, the women they found more attractive, and those were women with the traits you were talking about. But that's not every woman. It's just what you deem as more attractive. You're not talking about every other woman, you're just talking about some. And if you're not happy with any woman unless she's a gold digging attractive woman, then I think maybe you're right. Maybe you're better off single. So why is it so hard being single? It seems maybe you're just not meant to be in a relationship at that time because you're not happy with yourself. You need to work on yourself and you're not comfortable with yourself. Is it more painful for you to be single than in a marriage where you're miserable? Being away from somebody that is dysfunctional or toxic would be a sense of self-protection from harm to me. I don't have any problem pulling away from a dysfunctional relationship. I don't have any interest towards those kinds of relationships. And, I think, and, I think many women would be really good for these emotionally maladjusted men, like in the red pill spaces, but I think they're just looking in all the wrong places, really. The more they look in the wrong places, the more bitter they get and the more problematic the situation gets, it seems. These types are the ones to push themselves on women who don't want them, but at the same time, the women who do want them, they basically push away because they are stuck on the fact of winning someone over rather than going where you are accepted. It's like a challenge thing for them. To me personally, men like this will always get shot down. Like, if I'm not interested in a man and I'm being pursued by a man I find completely uninteresting, it's like if you were being chased by a woman, you would do the same thing, and you guys always do the same thing because you defend yourself. And you expect women not to defend themselves, and this is in the sense of what men are supposed to do and what women are supposed to do in your mind. So when a woman does this, it weirds you out, and you think something is wrong with you when you didn't focus on the woman who did want you. In these conversations, people talk about the woman and a men's side. I don't side with anyone. I can see everyone's point of view. I think people need to do whatever is right for them. Now, what is right for you might not be right for the next person. So you're going to have to look out for yourself. You know, I'm all for everyone doing what is right for them, and that implies the woman and the man and how they want to live their lives. When we are talking about emotionally damaged men and things of that nature, I'm like, well, you need to be accountable for your own actions. No one made you go into a relationship. Why did you put yourself through that? You know, have some self-accountability. I understand you went through a bad situation, but you have to try to learn from your mistakes so you don't keep making them. I feel like if I have negative baggage, then I must have done something wrong to have caused such a bad reaction. Because, I mean, no one forced me into a relationship. Why didn't I have good judgment? So, yeah, I don't just blame men for bad relationships, and I don't just blame women for bad relationships. That's why you have men with baggage and you have women with baggage on both ends. These men could play their cards right, you know, do right for yourself. And many of these people didn't split when the time was right. You know, they got into a relationship even though they knew it wasn't right for them, because, you know, it was better than being alone and single and desperate. Desperation doesn't get you into a good relationship. It just doesn't. When you are so weakened, like it seems to me like in a weakened state, you might want to feel stronger and more secure by trying to find any kind of attention. You know, many times they just blame others for the fact that they subjected themselves to those situations. You know, no one told them to subject themselves to a bad relationship, but they subjected themselves to a bad relationship because they weren't emotionally strong enough to wait for an actually fulfilling relationship that would actually get them what they wanted. You know, I think they weren't strong enough to fix themselves. They aren't strong enough to see their own personal problems and actually try to fix it. From my point of view, I don't understand why it's important to be with someone who you know is in a really bad state of mind. You know, I don't understand why I would try to include someone in my life who is bad for me when I could just not have those people around. That would be a better idea. I don't hate, people in the red pill. I can understand them and acknowledge them. There are women out there who will love them as well because they're both meant for each other. I think they can find women who are good for them. I don't have anything against them. They never done anything to me. I'm not interested in being with them, so I completely support them finding the right woman with their mindset. I don't think there's anything wrong with their mindset. I think it's right for the women that it's right for. It's not right for me, but, a lot of men aren't right for me. People from the red pill sector and things of that nature, I don't hold any hate. I understand that I'm very different from them. I don't think I should have any hate for people who are different from me. I think our differences make the world go round.